Welcome to the Nuff Said podcast. We are back after a short break. We're here to talk Agent Carter, among other things.
I thought you were going to say hiatus.
It's season 2, episodes 1 and 2 of Agent Carter. Although, Jack, you only saw episode 1.
That is correct.
Excellent. And Alil, did you see both?
Yes, I did.
All right. So we will spoil this. So, because actually everything happens in the second episode.
Agent Carter dies in the second one, doesn't she?
Yes.
Agent
Carter turns out to be a man, baby.
That's no Agent Carter. That's a man.
So should we introduce ourselves? I'm Rob.
I'm Jack.
I'm Joe. Alil. That's my name. Alil.
Joe Lil. So what'd you guys think? Lil, what did you think? Let's start there, because Jack only saw half of it.
For as high as we had with season 1 of Agent Carter, I enjoyed the beginning 2 episodes of season 2. It's played out and introduced some cool new concepts for this show.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was as strong as season 1.
I agree.
I do love Peggy. I do love what they're trying to do with her. I don't need her to have a love interest when we're only really spending 8 hours with her, 8 episodes.
Yeah. I actually liked how they played the love interest really last season, with the director guy. I can't think of his name. Sousa, whatever. I thought that like flirtation, having it on the fringes, I thought was great. And actually the way this started, when she's in New York, he's in LA, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of like that. I thought that was kind of interesting, but bringing in, what's his name?
The doctor.
Yeah, Dr. whatever.
Wilkes or...
Wills or Wilkes? Is it Wilkes?
I can't remember. Wilkes. It was Wilkes. Yeah.
That didn't ring true for me. I mean,
Right.
I thought that he was charming and he was doing his thing, but it was unnecessary, I guess, is more accurate.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, I like a little more supernatural element that they were bringing into the season. But, I miss some of the core grounded stuff that they brought in last year. I mean, I don't know where...
Wait, what was that?
I don't know. I think
Jack, you all right?
Face on his microphone.
No, I didn't hear. I didn't do anything. I've just been sitting here.
Okay.
Okay, that's weird.
What did you hear?
Scratching.
Like a scratch on the mic. But I kind of like that because, the Marvel universe really plays heavy on science and this kind of stuff. So it's really bringing some of that into the forefront for what's to come. But, I don't think it was necessary. I don't know.
It seemed like we saw the black stuff from Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, oh, that's really cool. But then I thought, wait, I don't know if we really need that here. I like when Agent Carter is more like a crime show.
Right.
And we had the Black Widow thing where it's like, we haven't gotten into the sci-fi superhero realm. And that was something that it just didn't connect for me the same way.
Yeah. It felt like an episode of old-timey X-Files when it should have felt more like...
Old-timey. Hey there, Scully!
It did. I mean, that's what we were, in the, the 50s here? What is this, 19...
Oh, it's not the 50s. It's the 40s, isn't it?
The 40s?
Yeah.
Well, they're saying this is the Cold War now. I mean, I thought it maybe made a jump.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I don't think it was that much of a jump.
That would be a pretty huge jump.
I think we're talking about a year. I think they've jumped a year from last year.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure. I'm curious on who Kurtwood Smith is, because he's with the FBI. I think he's shady.
I want him to call somebody a dumbass. That's what I'm waiting for.
But it was good, not great. That's where I'm going to leave it.
Yeah, something was not quite right. I actually have a theory on that. What a surprise, right? The showrunners, or at least the writers, are different. Huh. And I think that changed the tone. I think there's something with that, because even the way it was shot, didn't it seem a little weird? Like, I would have appreciated, like, here they're in California, here everything's bright and sunny. It didn't seem like the shots were clear. It seemed like they were trying to give it like that, a little bit of saturation, make it that older looking film. But I don't want that. I wanted like crystal clear HD on this.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe
it
that was
seems
their...
like there was just stuff like that going on that I was like, it was taking me out of it. And after we've seen what Marvel can do with Daredevil and Jessica Jones, this falls short. Whereas last season I thought was great.
Yeah. You know, there's a few things that I picked up on, but I'm not 100. I haven't done any research on this. I haven't had time. I've been super busy, so I don't know.
So busy. I've got a new job.
It's true, but I'm still my old job.
Yeah, I'm not sharing the meme of what you're really doing.
So this is a all ages friendly show here.
Jack, did you see it?
The meme? No, and I don't want to.
Did your text isn't working?
It is, but
You might want to check that out while we're on here, just to see what Alil's up to.
Is that in a text? Oh, here it is in a text.
Oh man!
Oh, that's funny.
That's exactly what his job is.
Is that
he is no longer an insurance adjuster?
I'm not.
It's a form of adjustment.
True.
So here's speaking of the show. I think they did all these things with these crazy visuals. It's supposed to be brighter fashion. And I think they kind of relied on that, where we're used to real writing about the characters, the Agent Carter thing. And I felt like there was more reliant more on visuals than content. Did you get that sense?
The content was a little bit weak, although it was setting a lot of stuff up. But I don't know why is the zero, and I like that they named it. What was it, Zero something? I like they named that.
Right.
But to me, it was a throwback to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm like, okay, they've got that stuff. Obviously, the pin. You guys noticed that pin was obviously the Hydra thing, the same symbol the astronaut had, right?
Right.
And
how could that be around at this point? Yet S.H.I.E.L.D. was oblivious to it for a while.
No, but see, what they said is this. In S.H.I.E.L.D., they said that this grouping has been around for centuries.
Right.
So,
they weren't oblivious. That's right.
Right. And once in the movie, once they laid it all out, there was the whole pattern of how long it had been around. And I think they were just trying to integrate that. You know, if you've seen the movie and following Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., blah, 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 or, that the whole Marvel universe, it's a little, I guess, Easter egg, I think you'd call it.
Well, yeah, I do think they are trying to tie it into the Marvel universe a little bit better so that it doesn't seem so standalone. But frankly, I like it being standalone.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's my problem with this is, like, I don't need to get the history of what we just uncovered in S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right, exactly.
She is a strong enough character and had a great, and we did get some back history with her because we got the whole Black Widow stuff, and but we can get different stories. We don't have everything tied.
I don't want it tied in. I want it to be its own story. And then if we see something later that ties in, it's special.
Yeah.
Right now it's just like, oh, we just saw a whole season about this, and here's where it started.
I think that's where I kind of, I picked up, the pin. Then when they're at that nightclub thing, there's the sign above the door that matches the pin. It's the same.
Right.
I was just like, okay, so that group of men that are meeting, they are Hydra in a sense. They're,
or whatever that group is. I mean, yes, they're Hydra, but it could be a third party group. It could even be like the beginnings of the what do they call them? Not the Masons. What's the group that Stark is part of?
The Illuminati?
The Illuminati.
Oh, right.
I mean, we could end up seeing this tied into the Illuminati somehow.
These guys are bad guys. I mean, the Illuminati.
They are bad guys, and the Illuminati's not. But at that point, could it have been confusing? And maybe they are.
Yeah. So, a question I was having before we were kind of going all over the place is...
We went all over the place?
I think we have a little bit. You're talking about the meme of my new position, yes. The girl, the blonde that was the actress, is that Madame Mask? Her name's Frost, right? Isn't that?
Yes, totally.
Okay.
Totally. She's got to be Madame Mask. And you know what? There was I was thinking of you when I heard that name too, and I'm like, it's got to be. There was also a reference. Let's see if I can see what the name of it is. The name of the episode, or the name of the movie she was in. Jack, you didn't see any of this, right?
No, correct.
So
with golden face or something, right?
Yeah, the woman with the golden face, which is definitely Madame Mask. So I think that's what they're doing there. I think this is Madame Mask.
So we get in season 1, we get Black Widow, Dottie and whatever, and so now we're gonna get Madame Mask.
I do have to say though, that in the beginning, was spot on.
Was pretty awesome. Yeah,
that's where they got it right. Having Dottie get questioned by Peggy Carter, everything felt right. As soon as she went out to California, and I liked the mystery, but everything else was like it was off.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
And even Dottie, where she's like, Peggy would have known how to handle this. Like, to me, that was like, well, yeah, you want to see Peggy dealing with a real life foil like that. Now, I don't mind them going the route of she's got a mystery to solve. These frozen people and the lake. That was pretty cool, but I think they're gonna just move past that and just make it all about this Black Zero stuff. And that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not.
So, Jack, you didn't see. We're talking about this black stuff. You didn't see any of this, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. I wanted to make sure you weren't doing a double negative or a double positive there. So,
I did kind of leave it hanging.
So, when you saw at the end of the first episode, though, Childs, whatever his name is, was Wilkes. That's his name.
Yeah.
Right.
He went and he stood on that thing and he saw the Zero, the black stuff, the junk that takes him into the other dimension. You saw that part, right?
Correct.
Okay. So then in the second part, I thought he was going to turn to be a bad guy, which was a little disappointing because it was like, really? Pretty obvious. I don't think he is, although he might be now. But I think the highlight of the second episode was when he took Peggy and showed her that film of the nuclear test and everything went wrong. That was so sweet. That was awesome. Like, that's the kind of thing I expect to see in Cap 3. Like good, really cool effects, really just get you on the edge of the seat type stuff.
So what comes out of the picture? Is it, what's like
it's
another
that picture of Alil at his new job.
There you go. So is it a creation of a new villain, or it's just
that comes out of the black stuff? Nothing came out of the black stuff, although it did. They go. Peggy and Wilkes go to basically take the Zero. What do they call it? Alil? Zero something.
Yeah, I can't remember now. I kept thinking.
This is the worst podcast. We can never think of anything. Zero Hour. Remember that show? Oh.
See, at least I was honest about not having seen it.
It's like we didn't even see it.
I watched something.
It doesn't matter if we saw it. We still can't get it right. I just finished watching it. The woman with the golden face, Whitney Frost. That's what that was, which is totally Madame Mask. Okay, we got that part of it right. Now I'm looking. She's Calvin's wife. Calvin was the guy. Jack, you all right?
Oh, I'm just rubbing my face. Can you hear that?
Yes.
I've had the worst headache all day long.
I'm surprised this show is giving you a headache.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all.
So Madame Mask is the wife. She's the one at the racetrack. You saw them at the racetrack, right?
Are you talking to me or Lil?
You.
Asking Lil questions.
I'm asking you so that you know who people are.
I don't want to know who people are. Okay, I want to see the show.
So anyway,
tell me about it.
Wilkes and Peggy go back to where he works, and he's stealing the Zero stuff, the black stuff.
Okay.
And as he gets it in this container, and in walks Frost, which is the wife of the guy who runs the place.
Right.
And she's the one that we're saying is Madame Mask. And something happens. The thing friggin' explodes when they drop it. And then at the end, you see her and she pulls her hair back and she's got a scar and the black stuff is inside of her. It's gross, man.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's awesome. Was it like shifting and oozing?
Yes. It was small, but you could see it kind of go moving around.
It was. Okay, so it sounds like their version of the obelisk. But with the obelisk, when it's in its vibrating state, it's a liquid, and when it's not, it's a solid. It's like a little block. And you even see at the old obelisk these little square things where you can tell it's been extracted, and you see, like, Hydra has this one little block here and this one little block there. So is this their attempt to mimic that, or is this totally different?
Well, I think it's the same stuff.
But how do you get to this black ooze and to the obelisk, which have two totally different characteristics?
The only way they have a different characteristic is when it turns into the obelisk. We didn't see this thing turn into some type of solid. But don't they make it solid by doing vibrations or something?
No, they turn it into a liquid by adding the vibrations. Like you have to activate a certain frequency. So it's just kind of interesting. Like, they have gone their own direction. But to me, I think the whole series kind of sets up. Is it about Agent Carter? I think they kind of set it up where it's a series about Agent Carter, but I think you really sell the whole thing by the prequel parts of it. Like, okay, where did this thing come from, Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D.?
So you're saying you like that? That's what Will and I were just complaining about, is we felt that was a little off the mark.
I think they're going about it just the wrong way. But I think that's how you sell the whole series.
Okay.
To me, I don't think you sell this thing as this is all about Peggy Carter, because I don't think that pulls everybody in. I think the first season they did a much better job. It was an element of the action and the misogynistic things.
This time they're dealing with racism even more than the misogynistic stuff.
Right. And I think that's a mistake. I think the last time they had like one little element about I think it was about the obelisk, or the silver ones. Was it the Terrigen crystals?
In the last one?
Yeah. Something
Did they?
popped
I don't
up.
remember that.
I thought something actually popped up from.
Alil, come on, man. What is it?
They made reference to something.
Why do we have Alil on this show if he's not going to give us answers?
I'm trying to answer. Here's what this is.
It's a Jackabuster.
No, you know what this is?
What?
That is what we were calling death, or the alien, or whatever it was on the planet. That black stuff that oozed into Ward is this black stuff.
Oh, that's right. Because he's going back and forth. He's still in the planet, but with the portal, he can kind of go in and out and back and forth until something happens and the portal closes. Alil, this might be the first time, but I'm going to say it. You are a genius.
Thank you. So like at the end, and Jack, you didn't see this part where the black stuff got onto whatever her name was. Now I'm drawing a blank.
Dorothy, or
Kunica.
In this one?
Yeah, the actress.
Yeah.
Madam Mask.
Whitney Frost.
Whitney
Frost. That is the same ooze stuff that was in that planet that they were on in S.h.i.e.L.D.
Right, that's in Ward now.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not related to that.
Do you think this ooze stuff is going to tie into Ragnarok when Thor 3 happens? Do you think this is part of that?
No.
No?
No, you know what? The more and more these universes have been going, the more and more I see them separating themselves and not tying in very much. Which is sad, but
I don't know about that.
The TV and the movie side have been really, really separate. I mean, even if you go with stuff in Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D., there's not been much crossover. A little bit of Nick Fury here, a little bit of Maria Hill. I mean, if they were going to cross it over big time, they could have crossed it over in Sokovia and had everybody on the helicarrier, Ben Coulson and all that.
Yeah, which they totally should have done. But you know what? That was Joss Whedon. He did not like having Agents of Carter on, or Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. on any of this, which is ridiculous because he's an executive producer. His brother and sister-in-law run the show.
Yeah.
On top of it, he doesn't even like Coulson still being alive.
Right.
So
he's the one who told them to make them alive. So
it's very weird, man.
There's a lot of back and forth stuff going on, but there is a lot of issue. I mean, there was an interview with what's his place who's playing Charlie Cox, who's playing Daredevil, And basically, he kind of laid it out that the studio and the studios for the TV and the movie side are very separate. He's really hoping he can be Daredevil in the movies, but he doesn't even know if that's even going to ever happen.
Well, if Daredevil is in the movies, it will happen with him.
I hope
they do it, that will happen. And you know what? Infinity Wars has, what did they say, 37 heroes?
67.
Yeah.
But
you
I
know what?
said characters.
But you don't have that deep a cut and not have Daredevil show up. I'm sorry. That would seem way out of place to ignore Daredevil. He is one of your, if you had to put him at the lowest end of where he's at, he'd be in your Big 10. I say he's in your Big, 5.
No.
For me, he's in the Big 2.
For you, but no, not for
Don't I matter?
No, you matter not in this conversation. I love Daredevil just the same. I've got this awesome General Giant Daredevil bust sitting right behind me. But Daredevil is not.
Yeah, we saw it in that meme.
Yes, you did. Daredevil is not a top 5 character in the Marvel Universe.
Okay, where does he sit?
Behind everybody that they've already had a movie on at this point. Behind the Guardians,
Yeah, but technically that's not true because they did Spider-Man, X-Men, and Daredevil before doing the MCU.
Fox did.
Yeah, but they didn't have the rights to Daredevil.
That's okay. That doesn't mean anything.
Once they got the rights, they put the TV show on, and they gave us a 12-hour Daredevil movie. It's awesome. So we get another 12 coming up. Awesome.
Have you heard the news about Deadpool and the China market?
Yes.
That's kind of big. I wonder, that is such a huge market and makes such a big deal with box office. I wonder if they'll start kind of tailoring the movies not to have sex scenes, because that's the biggest part. It's not the violence at all. It's actually, it was the sex scenes that they banned it.
Well, they banned it, but no one's talking about the fact that India also is not going to show this.
But nobody cares about India because they don't spend the kind of cash that China spends on movies.
True.
Yeah, I don't think
of bootlegging.
But
is this from India? Is that true?
I'm not from India, but thank you. No, here's the thing though. Jack, I agree with you in a sense. I don't think they're going to take it out of movies, but I think what you're going to see out of those movies is lower budgets. I don't think Fox cares that Deadpool is banned, because Deadpool's budget is really low, and what they're anticipating for it is really an American audience, because this movie was really made for that audience. And if they can make their budget plus some on this is a success. I mean, I think that's where they're going with it. That's why they didn't invest huge amounts of money. But if you look at Disney did with Iron Man 3, they made a separate cut just for Iron Man 3 for the Chinese market.
Well, and I think that's what's going to happen. Some of the articles talked about it. Thought, are they going to change the way they do movies? But I think there will be alternate cuts. I think every movie is going to have a China market version.
I think the reason Fox is doing this is they are separating themselves from the stink of Fantastic Four. That is why they did this. They're making a big, bold statement. They're letting it be R-rated. But let's face it. I mean, I've read the Deadpool comics. It doesn't need to be R-rated. They're doing this on purpose. They're trying to differentiate themselves from the MCU.
I guess, but it just seems like bad business. You're eliminating millions and millions of dollars. Of course, I mean,
I'll tell you what the smarter thing is.
Any number of missteps that Fox has.
But I'll tell you what's smarter. Because, I've been reading a lot about this, and I'm sure Alil is on the side of, no, there should be R. I want to see boobs and violence in it. That's great. Who doesn't, right? Except the Chinese. But the reality is, what they should do with a film like this is have a PG-13 cut and have an R cut, release them in theaters, do one of them as the unedited director's cut. You know what? So you don't have it in every single theater. You're not going to have it in every single theater anyway. You know what? People that want to see the R-rated version are going to seek it out. It's just like what just happened with Tarantino's Hateful Eight. I went to see it because I wanted to see the full cut in 70 millimeter. I sought it out. I went to see it, and that theater was jam-packed. Do that, then release a PG-13 cut. The reason I say release a PG-13 cut is exactly who we deal with every Saturday night, Alil. Edward is the biggest Deadpool fan we know. He's 15. Oh, he just turned 16. We often say he's 9, but he's really 16. He's not going to see it. Now, is he not going to see it because his parents won't let him? According to him, that's not the case. He doesn't want to see Deadpool just as one big exploitation film.
Right.
He wants to see a Deadpool movie that's Deadpool from the comics he loves.
Well,
that's where they're losing their audience.
And that's a typical Fox misstep, because you have to know when you make a Marvel character movie that your target audience is true to the character.
Yeah.
People flock
you're getting the geeks. You're getting the geeks that are our age that are like, yes, an R-rated, superhero movie. This will be the best movie ever. It's not going to make that much money. You're not going to see a ton of these unless it really does blow out the box office.
And I don't think you can come up with two American versions. I think you split.
Oh, you certainly can. Tarantino's doing it with Hateful Eight right now.
Well, I mean,
that's different. I don't.
Yeah, but it's the same theory. They're still doing it.
But here's the thing, and I'm not trying to get into specifics and, the platform and that you would have to do to separate that, because I might miss out on my town. I don't think it's a sustainable business plan. I think...
No, but if you want to make noise with it and do it, that's how you do it.
You do it in select... You release the PG-13, but you do the rated R in select theaters. I agree. That way you make, the horny old guys very happy.
Alil, would that make you happy?
I'm not old.
So I think it's going to set up something in the big picture where we're going to see more and more of this if the pictures want to maintain budget. I don't think you can give up that sort of market just automatically and say, well, we want to do something different.
I also don't think, unless this movie really makes a lot of money, I think this is going to be a moot point. I don't think this type of business practice by Fox is going to last real long.
No, and I think this sends a big message to the people that make the movies that you have to treat the China audience differently. And I think it also sets up an interesting market that you have. I've seen the American version, but man, I want to see the China version just because it's there. It's like the alternate director's cut.
Yeah. All right, well, you've been very quiet. What do you think of all this?
I don't think it's the right thing to do. I think there are certain characters and I understand, we talk with Edward and his love for Deadpool, and maybe this isn't the Deadpool that he wants. But when they focus in on that character doing it this way and doing it more adult, I don't think you need to make a second version of the movie. I just don't. I think because what's going to happen is that neither version of the movie is going to be any good, because they're going to try to play the line, and both audiences are going to be mad. You go one way or the other. When you go with a hard rating like an R rating for this type of movie, you don't care about what audiences are going to go into it. You don't care about the money you're leaving on the table, because this is a low investment for you. If they wouldn't that like Iron Man 3 $250 million, then yes, you need the Chinese market. You're investing 50 to 60 million on this movie, and this movie has got enough buzz that it's going to be able to do that probably its opening weekend.
I don't know.
These make money. Hateful Eight's made money, and that is a very, very low release. This is going to be a pretty wide release for an R-rated movie, and it's going to make its money.
But do you think this is a game changer?
No.
You don't think?
I don't think
so at all.
It for a game changer. I think they built it for maybe Rob's right in a sense that they wanted to get the stink of Fantastic Four off of them. But I also think that they're going to change some of the genre themselves. And go a little harder. You're seeing DC trying to go a little...
Well, like I said, they're trying to establish themselves as the harder version of the MCU. Yeah. And this is a way to, stake that claim. They've done enough with the X-Men. They're not really... The only character they've kind of done that with is Wolverine. They've given it, let him say some dirty words and let him be a little outrageous. This is... Here's what we're doing with this, and we'll continue to do this.
Oh, yeah. Line did it with Blade, and Blade made a lot of money.
Yeah. But Blade's not a traditional superhero.
And I agree up to a certain point that you can't like do a watered down version for one market, because I think one of the things that the China whatever their Ministry of whatever it was and said
Ministry of Magic
that they tried to eliminate certain scenes, but they said they just would have had to cut things that were kind of in the plot, and they just couldn't cut it down. And I seriously think, and I'm going to stand with, it's a game changer for the market, because it's going to force these, if they want to keep the China market and have a harder movie, that they'll have to do two completely separate movies that you just won't be able to go halfway. So
no, they just have to leave the sex out of it.
Yeah,
the violence. I mean, come on. Anyone that's saying it's about the violence, have you ever seen the movie Tokyo Gore Police? Good Lord.
Well, they have their.
I mean, they're into ultra violence there.
Right. That's what I was going to say. The ultra violence is a genre. It's not about that. It's only about the sex scenes.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, if you don't have it, I don't think they're going to give that up, though. I think they'll incorporate like large portions that will be filmed completely separate, and I think that's going to happen from here on out.
But is it the sex or is it the vulgarity? I mean,
no, it's the sex. The statement that they gave was it's about the sex.
Yeah, everything I've seen has been about the sex.
Their culture just does not allow for that, and
it's why you have no audience for League of Geeks over in China.
That's fine.
That's fine.
That was a game changer.
Doing
it's like somebody put the brakes on our show.
That would be me.
That could be your
what
Marvel.
What is that noise?
I don't know.
You hear it, right?
I hear it. Yeah.
Oh, it's
awful. Probably because of the microphone. Like I'm using my headbuds and.
Oh, you're using the microphone on your earbuds?
Yeah,
that's what it is. You're the worst.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can switch this. Hold on, let me see what I can do here.
Whoa.
All right, this should eliminate any problem.
Oh my gosh.
Sound like 10 times better.
Yeah.
That would have been good to know like 30 minutes ago.
That's okay. The audience is used to you sounding like crap.
Do you still hear the scratching though?
Yeah. Now.
Because I was scratching the phone.
I don't want to know where the microphone is.
Well, look at the meme.
Oh, we will never release that.
No, that's why you don't put stuff on Facebook.
No. So, all right.
All I do want to say is we average 10 downloads from China per episode. So there's somebody in China listening to it.
Right.
Yeah, it's the Ministry of Magic.
That's right.
They're watching our every move. They're probably trying to hack into our database, and then they finally do and go, nah.
That's what we get? Oh,
gross.
They'll probably download some like really good stuff.
Hot buttered what? That would be a Lil.
Hey, man. Everyone loves it.
Yep.
Including the ladies.
Yeah, okay. So, all right. I want to wrap up the Carter thing because we got off track. I just want to wrap up the Carter thing. So, I mean, I want to see where the season goes. I don't want to downplay it. I did enjoy it, and there were elements that I liked quite a bit. I just think it was a little bit weaker start than I was expecting. I thought we were going to get an A, and I think we got a B.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what sent the shockwave, because people had much higher expectations for the show, and they've changed the core of what the show was.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, it's either showrunners or the writing team is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you guys agree with this? I mean, is this kind of where you're at with it too?
Exactly.
Sure.
All right. Although I do have to say, Agent Carter in in her scientist outfit with the glasses, not a bad look for her.
That is true.
I'm just going to throw that out there.
Maybe you should put that on the Facebook page.
Yeah, it'll be banned in China.
There you go.
Nice.
Oh, that should
not
be
as
the name
long
of
as
our
you're
band. Banned in China. Yeah.
Instead of it'll be BAND, banned in China.
Oh, clever.
I know. That's
why
I'm getting
the domain name right now.
Already purchased.
Yeah.
GoDaddy.com.
Yep. I got a promotion to Internet God. All right. So what else happened in Marvel? The Deadpool thing, we all have, it's a polarizing issue and we all have thoughts on it. Moving right ahead. What else do we got?
I don't know.
Spider-Man?
Release date moved to July 7th, 2017.
When did this happen? I don't think I saw that.
Today. Took the place of Pirates of the Caribbean because they moved that out. And then with that move, they also moved Star Wars Episode 8.
Yeah, I saw that.
December. A bunch of movies moving around, like some dates. Not nothing huge.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get Spider-Man 3 weeks sooner.
All right.
Also, we talked briefly about the Russo brothers talking about the 60 some odd characters that are going to be in the Infinity War movies. Rumors are also flying that they filmed the 3 different death scenes for Civil War, so nobody really knows.
Yeah, like who dies, if it wants a red herring.
Yeah, but it looks like there will be an Avenger death in Civil War.
Yeah.
And more than likely more than one.
I'll tell you who I don't think it is. I don't think it's War Machine, because they put that in the preview where you saw Tony over War Machine. I have a feeling he's just injured.
Yeah, but you know what, though? Like, to me, he is probably the one character if they lose.
If they're going to kill somebody, he'd be one you could, even though I like War Machine.
Right, and I do too, and I love Don Cheadle. I'm just saying it's like Anthony Mackie, I think if they go the Falcon route to kill him would be a huge blow, because I think he's got some charisma as an actor, and that character is really picking up some steam, especially in the books, being the new Captain America.
Right.
I mean, they can go with him. Rumors also swirling that, Scarlet Witch had a scene that...
There's no way they're killing off Scarlet Witch already.
That's what I'm saying, but...
No way. She, especially when they set her up at the end of Avengers, that she's on the new team. It's not like they're going to bring her in and like, okay, well, let's start killing off these new Avengers. No.
I'm just...
Plus her brother was killed.
Yeah.
Although I did hear that he was on set. Did you hear that?
Maybe it was a flashback.
Could be.
Yeah, I would say if he was, it's more likely a flashback, and if they do bring him back or bring everyone back from the dead, it's not going to happen until Infinity War, when Thanos has, or somebody has, the gauntlet, and
they're able to do that.
Yeah. But I mean, Scarlet Witch was one of the rumored ones that they filmed. Also, they said with that scene, the rumor is that if it's her, maybe this is what launches the Vision out. You see him flying into space. Maybe we get the Vision with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
That could be, because he can't die in Civil War. He's got to die in Infinity War when they rip the thing out of his head.
Yeah, he's got a stone. So who knows if he'll die at that point? I mean, the stone, maybe because he'll have it at this point for such a long time, and he's already kind of Jarvis in a sense. Maybe he won't die, but maybe he lose some of his power, but he's not dead.
Yeah, but if you're going to kill somebody, that's an easy one to do that with.
Right. I agree with that.
Even though, I don't want any of them to die, but you do. You want the stakes to be high. I mean, frankly, the world wouldn't end if Iron Man or Cap died.
Well,
as much as we go, no, that won't happen. I think the safe players are the Hulk, because they haven't developed enough there.
Well, he's not in the movie.
Right, but I'm just saying in general, I think the characters that would be safe would be somebody like him. I actually think Scarlet Witch is safe. Once again, not a lot of character development. Unless the movie is going to focus on them a lot so that it rips your heart out when they go, I think it's got to be a big one that already is going to rip your heart out, and it can't be Thor.
Yeah.
It could be Tony. Could be a shocker.
No, it won't. Because there's already rumors that Tony is in the Spider-Man movie, so...
Nice. Yeah, I don't want it to be Tony.
It's probably going to be Cap.
Well, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Especially now that they announced that Steve Rogers is back as Captain America in the comics. It's like, yeah, kill him, bring him back, kill him, bring him back. They can do whatever with him. He's that guy.
Yeah, I guess.
Is that girl's brother?
Yes.
Is anybody old enough to know that reference?
I got it.
I'm not.
Yeah.
No idea what you're saying.
Really? You don't know that girl?
Who's that girl? Madonna?
Marlo Thomas.
Marlo Thomas.
No.
Danny Thomas's daughter. She was on a show called That Girl.
Dave Thomas, the Wendy's?
Yes. Oh, I thought you meant the SCTV guy.
No.
So many Dave Thomases.
All right.
Do we have anything more to talk about?
I don't think so.
No?
I think we need to edit out like the whole last half of the show.
Well, I am editing out the first half hour, so it's perfect.
That'll leave us with about 5 good minutes of content.
Wow. So this is the best episode we've ever had.
I know. Usually it's 4.
I don't even know about that.
This is definitely my top 5. So.
Oh. Well, you know what? I think it's once again the situation we had when S.H.I.E.L.D. came back, where we were kind of in a state of like, we got a lot of questions. So it makes this show, it's hard to be like all jokey and everything when you're trying to figure it out.
I don't know. I didn't have as high expectations for some reason. Yeah, when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of came back, I was kind of hoping for more, and I felt like I got it. Where I had a really high expectations, and this didn't quite meet it, but it was still kind of cool.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it while I was watching it. It's just the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm talking myself out of enjoying some of it.
Right. I mean, you enjoyed it. It was fine. It was entertaining. But you know, once the TV went off, I didn't really think too much more about it.
Right. I just remember being so excited about the first.
Yeah.
When it first came out, and I didn't get that sense, but you know, maybe we kind of knew what to look for, and then. You know, when they do these little side themes about how women are treated and minorities, and it's, to me, it just takes some of that takes away from the story, and you don't necessarily can take that out of the history all the time, but it's like make it about the people, the characters, and then make a statement about some stuff, but I don't know.
Well, that's actually what I think they did effectively last season, and this time maybe it was a little more ham-handed.
Right. You know, I don't know. But I think, you know, we've kind of explored really most of what they had to say.
All right.
That's it for you, Alil? Just, all right.
That's it. Nuff said.
Nuff said.
He's done. No, let's give social media, then we'll get out. Oh, wait. We got one more thing.
Oh,
one
God.
more thing. Did everybody get all the way through Jessica Jones?
No.
Okay. Then we don't have one more thing. Have you liked what you've watched so far?
Yeah, they're not watching it in China, that's for sure.
No, but Edward can watch a PG version of it. No, I'm kidding. Disney
No.
XD.
They wouldn't even be able to make a PG version of it. If they did, the first 4 episodes I watched would be 10 minutes long.
Right. Yeah, the opening scene, it's like, yep, you're out. So, Jack, did you watch the show?
No.
Oh, really?
I don't even remember you mentioning anything about it.
Jessica Jones, really? It's one of those Netflix Marvel series.
I haven't heard about it, and I'm knee deep in school stuff.
Yes,
and
yes.
it's not even in my radar.
No.
I haven't heard a lick about it.
Maybe when Alil is done watching it, we'll do a little special about it. We'll just talk about it. Jack, you don't have to be on that one since you haven't seen it. Save you a little bit there.
Jack, I think you will enjoy it, especially you.
All right. Is Catwoman in there?
No, but
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
you get some superhero stuff.
Yep. Watch. Wow.
Yep.
Bow chicka bow bow.
Yep.
A bed gets broken.
Yeah, it does.
I will keep that in mind. You know, thank gosh for Netflix.
Jack's like, you know what? I might just watch this tonight. Now that you mention it,
Jack.
I don't need that doctoral program. I'm going to watch a little Jessica Jones.
There you go.
I've been up for 12 straight hours watching Jessica Jones.
You know, and I know people are busy. People have lives and things are happening. But where do people get these hours and hours
I don't
to
know.
watch these things? I don't understand. And there's some study now that says binge watching television is bad for your brain. I don't know.
They're
how
wrong,
they figured.
because we have a show called Binge Worthy. We encourage people to binge watch.
Yeah, so you probably work for the tobacco company too.
I'm not saying we do. I'm not saying we don't.
That
Thanks for
Purple Man from 1987 to 1988.
Does he have a scene? Because I don't know.
Yes.
Anyhow,
All right. Well, then we'll talk about Jessica Jones another time. Jack, you're gonna miss out, because after that we've got, like, hot on its heels, we've got Daredevil coming in March, Daredevil 2.
Never
And
heard
then
of
we
it.
got Luke Cage. Then we got Iron Fist. Then we got Defenders. Somewhere Jessica Jones 2 is happening. I don't know if it's before or after Defenders. And then we go into the second phase, which is going to be Punisher. You know what? This is making me crazy. I keep seeing things posted where they're like, ooh, rumors are there's going to be a Punisher series. You know what? There is. There's going to be a Punisher series. If everything they said a few months ago is true, there's going to be Punisher, Moon Knight, Spider-Woman, and I don't know. I don't remember who the fourth one was.
I'm still not sold that they're going to be able to pull off Spider-Woman.
I'm not sure on that one either, but, you know...
Because there's still stuff that they have to work out with Sony every time they use a character. I mean, one of the other things that came out this week was the Russos talked about why Spider-Man hasn't been anywhere to be seen. And they said that it's a little bit of how they're allowed to use him based on Sony. And they still,
oh, really?
Yeah. So they might not be able to use him in marketing of this movie. At a big push, you know, you're not going to see him on a billion cereal boxes, and you know.
Well, that they might, but it might be the pre stuff. Like they might be able to use him in, let's say, you know, because they release a teaser, they release like multiple trailers. That might be the deal that Sony has. Is there's no reveal of Spider-Man until the final big trailer,
or
because they're trying to add value to their character.
But what if you just see the superheroes and then you just see this web come across the bottom? Does that kind of circumvent the whole process? Like, you know that's Spider-Man,
well, we already
but you never showed him.
You've ruined everything, Jack.
I take that, Sony. Your wonderful PlayStation.
And take that, Fox, just because you made Fantastic Four.
I don't know. How is that I don't know. Don't get me started.
Did you watch it?
No, I refuse to.
Did I tell it on here how I stayed awake for Age of Ultron. I finally saw it. It was good. Did I ever tell you about me seeing Fantastic Four?
No.
Alil, I told you, right?
No, I don't think. Maybe you did.
I didn't see it. We went to see a movie at this cheap theater, and we actually were sneaking into a double feature. And in between, I was waiting out in the hallway, and Fantastic Four was on. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to walk in. I'm going to watch a few minutes. I had like a half hour. I thought, you know what? I'm going to just give it a try and just see where it's at. When I walked in, it was towards the end. So they're in the whatever, Zero's zone or whatever. And I can't think of what anything's called at this point. Brain damage from Peggy Carter tonight. The Forbidden Zone. What's it called?
The negative
zone. Negative zone. So it's the part where they're in the negative zone. It's towards the end. I walked in. I look up at the screen, and it looks pretty cool. Like the effects, I was like, oh, this is sweet. Alil, swear to God, because you saw the movie, I did not make it 3 full minutes before some junk happens. And I'm like, this is the worst movie. It was terrible. I watched 3 minutes, and then I stayed in there another 2. After 5 minutes, I walked out. I looked shell-shocked. Martha's like, weren't you watching? I was like, I can't. It's awful.
Did I tell you what they did here down in Florida? I don't know if they did in other markets, but if you saw the movie at Regal Theaters, you got in a raffle to win like a $5,000 vacation package. They were literally bribing people to see the movie.
To see this movie. I still wouldn't see it. It was terrible. Unless it was a guaranteed winner. That is a lose proposition for you.
You know, I almost saw the movie because of that. I'm thinking, man, you know, if I got to talk about this and I got to see it anyway, you know, maybe I can get a free trip to Cancun, but I never did.
Good choice.
Well,
you hated this movie, right?
Absolutely.
You in America.
What the serious hell was going on with this movie? It was terrible.
Well, you know, it's another thing where they don't know their market. They're trying to placehold these characters because of the contracts that they all made with Marvel. So why put anything good into it? It's just a placeholder. So they didn't.
Yeah, but they lost money on this thing, man.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line. They lost money.
Do you think they did?
Yes.
I guess the special effects probably cost a lot of bread, but
you know, so everyone talks about what a movie costs to make. There's another aspect to that budget, which is all the marketing and everything. And this movie had a ton of marketing behind it.
That's
they
true.
were really trying to sell this thing. That costs a lot, what they did. So they took a bath.
And I think, like, if a movie's really bad, I think there should be fines. I think there should be, like, some sort of an organization that says you wasted all of America's 2 hours and something minutes, and so you're going to have to pay, like, you know, for that movie, that would be like a $10 million fine.
Yeah, no, Jack, don't encourage this, because then the next stop is going to be charging podcasts that waste your time, and we're going to the poorhouse.
Yeah, but see, there's the thing is nobody charges for podcasts, so you get what you pay for.
Good point. Or a value at half the price.
That's right. We give you double the value of anything you've ever paid. Right. Except for that one guy that did subscribe to our our Daredevil show.
Yes.
And I think we made him quite happy.
We did.
So
Eric,
for those that
Eric loves us.
Yes. And we love Eric.
Yes. All right, are we done?
I'm done.
I said enough said like 20 minutes ago. So.
We should call this episode the Dark Horse or something.
Dark what?
Dark Horse, or like.
Why are we calling it a dark horse?
I don't know, just like something dark. I don't know. I threw it in the horse for fun.
I thought you were calling it something else, and I was like, "This is a family-friendly show."
Yeah, really, Jack. Not going to play in China.
You've been watching those memes too many times.
Yes. All right, I'm wrapping it up. So you can follow me on Twitter at @Southgate. You can follow the company at SMG Pods, and you can follow this show at Nuff Said Pod. We also have an Instagram. Just look up Nuff Said Pod. And we have a Facebook page. Take a guess what you look up. You can email us at southgatemediagroup@gmail.com, and we really do answer those emails. And you can find all of the past episodes of this and all the different shows that are on the Nuff Said feed and all of our podcasts at www.southgatemediagroup.com. And Jack, why don't you give some of your social media stuff?
I don't know. After this episode, I don't know what I want to share all that. It's like I'm at what am I? At Wengrosky, and I think you can hear Melissa and I on our Blacklist show. I think there's a new season of Bosch, so look out for our Bosch podcast. And Trumpet Talk is still in the works, but it's a coming, so hold out for that.
All right, and Alil.
You can follow me at LOGEEKZ on Twitter and on Facebook at the League of Geeks podcast. And that's Geeks with a Z.
I think that's it. All right. Until next time. Nuff said.
Nuff said.
Worst episode ever.
Oh my God, that was terrible.